So guys, look, we managed to get it working. All we done is remove the other cables, remove the solder, reconnected the wires by twisting them around each other, and the lights came on. So the light has life. What I want to do now is I want to actually solder the cables again. However, we are just going to solder them while they are active. This, well, to be honest with you, is very risky, as we could either blow the full electrics of the car, or we could turn the light off again, which could go into the fuse, damage the fuse, etc. If we turn the hazards off, the light's completely off. What I'm going to do, however, we're going to leave the dim bulbs on. So they're going to come on now. There we are. Dim bulbs on. What we're going to do is we're going to leave it on, solder one wire, disconnect the battery, solder one wire, put the battery back on, and it should just keep on, turn it on and off. If I disconnect the battery, but we leave the ignition on, you'll see the light goes off, battery comes back on, light comes back on, because the ignition was left in the on position, which we're going to do now. And we're going to solder it one by one wire and crack on that way. So guys, got my helping hands back again. Time to solder. Soldering iron this time, I turned it on. Made sure it was on, unlike the last video. I've also just got one more wire to show you guys. If I just grab it from down here. So guys, this is the wire I was on about in the previous video. However, I couldn't find it. So basically, it was coming out from the car as two wires originally. It went into this little connector and then turned into one really thick wire. And obviously the socket that I got had the two wires without the connector, so we chopped that off. And boom, did that. The light's clearly on, so we're in a bit of a win-win situation here. If I just get my helping hands to grab the soldering iron and the solder, I'm going to grab the wire, he's going to quickly solder it, and we're going to crack on with this. I'll go around to here and we'll bring the camera a little bit more in so the camera can actually get into the action a bit more. What we'll do is we'll zoom the camera in. I do apologise for... There we are, you guys can actually see it a lot better. So the wires were just twisted round. They are a bit messed up. All we'll do is, if we disconnect the one battery cable, and then we put a bit of solder onto this one. So that one's soldered, it's not going to go nowhere. Obviously, if you put stupid force on it, it will go. Cable heated up there, guys. And we'll put the battery cable back on again. Lights back on, that's a good one. If we follow it round to the brown ones, which I know need twisting, if we turn the battery cable off, we twist these ones and we get a bit of solder put onto these as well. So we're going to just move the light out the way a little bit, so we've actually got a bit more room to come into, which means you guys can't actually see the light. I'm sure you can see the solder getting done. We check, has it gone round? If we just put a bit round that side. That's perfect. Put the battery cable back on. Whoops, I've just disconnected this. Where's this one come from? There it is. Lights back on, guys. If you just bear with 1 second, what I'll try and do is get the light in. Twist that around there, so that's going to stay on. If we twist that and try and get the actual light into the camera, yep. So in the top corner, guys, just around here, you can see the light is on. I can't get the full headlight in, otherwise I won't be able to show you the cable. But anyway, next one. That one's done. We'll let the smoke clear a little bit. We turn the light back on again. That's a good one. So we'll go back to this other brown one. Whoops, nearly dropped the cable there. Actually, can you see the light? Might be. Oh, you can't see it properly. What we'll do is we'll put it back there, and you guys should be able to see a little bit. If we just turn it on to make sure if you can see it or not. Can you see? Yes, you can. So that's perfect, guys. If I just twist that around there, and we'll put a bit of solder onto that now. Move my hand out of the way because it does drop a little bit of solder occasionally. And as I mentioned in previous videos, neither me or my helper are professionals in soldering. It's just, well, soldering is pretty easy and it's not overly complicated as long as you do it right and you don't mess on. So that's that part done. What we'll do is we'll put the battery back on again. Lights back on. Can you guys see that? Yep, lights back on. So if we take the battery cable off again, and we'll come to solder this one, which wasn't even connected properly. So we'll just twist it and then put a bit of solder on this one as well. So we'll just put a bit of solder on there. So that's that one done. We'll just check the cable. Lights back on again. Guys, trust me, this part is an absolute nightmare. And I'm sure you guys are tired of seeing the light, the wires, constantly us messing around trying to get it on. So finally, we can get the light back on. And this was the most stressful part. It's all because the other switch was corroded, so when I put pressure on it, I've snapped it. Simple fact, I put a bit of pressure on it. How's that gone? That's worked again. Now if we come across, if I'm not wrong, we have only got 2 wires left. So we'll just solder both of these and then we'll go back and check it afterwards. Because then we know if there is a problem, it's with, well, these 2 cables. So if we put a bit of solder on this one. So guys, you might know in the original video, the one before this, I did say I wanted to add an extra piece in to keep the cable nice and long. However, that's not been possible because when I've added an extra piece off camera as well, I've got a similar wire to these and I've tried that as well and that hasn't worked either. I'm not sure what it is, just need to be on the safe side. So we've just done this because I can't take any risks. So if we solder that part there, and that looks like a good one. Let's put the battery back on. And it's still working. So it's a thumbs up. So if we turn the solder on off, we grab some electrician's tape, which I'm sure I did buy for this car. Where I've put it, if it's at the house or if it's in this unit, I'm not sure. Let's just check. We've got some in the unit, not the one I bought, but we can use this, it's perfectly fine. This is electrician's tape, it's just a different colour. What we're going to do is individually wrap each one, just so they don't touch, and then we'll put a cable wrap over the top of each, a cable tie, sorry, over the top of each to keep hold all the wires together, and we'll just put a bit of tape over the top of that. Then the headlight can go back into place, and well, that's the hard part over. Now we know the light's working. Main beam, guys. If I just bring the headlight down a little bit, you guys can see it better. So you can see there's the indicator, there's the main beam, there's the side light. If we put the flash on, there we are. So that means all the lights are working. The light is absolutely perfect. Now we're going to turn the ignition off because we know the lights are on, and putting a bit of sellotape can't exactly affect this. So I'm going to get this all wrapped up, and I'll join you in the next video where we'll be fitting this, guys. Please don't forget, like, share and subscribe. This light procedure has been stressful for probably the viewers, definitely been stressful for me and my helper. We've been spending several hours at this just to try and figure out what's wrong with it. Finally got it working. Now we're going to sort all this wiring out, put this tape on top, tidy the wiring up. I'll show you a final video before it goes in, and then we'll actually put this back on. Anyway guys, don't forget, like, share and subscribe, and definitely hit the bell icon, and we'll see you soon.